bring up that subject, as you're talking, because I'm an art therapist, I'm thinking, how does this weave into the field of art therapy?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, yes, I've been practicing, a couple of decades as an art therapist, and I haven't yet saw how it weaves in other than, and it may just be because I didn't stumble upon the area sooner, but other than work with mandalas and working with the form and shape of circles, I haven't seen the connection between geometry and art therapy really being made.
Well, I think that's probably true, Danita. And so I am terribly excited to continue this work with you because I think it's very fruitful and it's profound. And I'm terribly excited to explore this area with you.
Yeah.
Just take a mandala, for instance. I see many people drawing circles and putting all their own images in the mandala. It's fine. But, what are the teachings, the ancient wisdom teachings in just the making of a circle? Where did these teachings go? What does it mean to divide a circle? What does this mean in our lives? What is the generative function of a circle? These are all very wonderful questions and what I think happens with number and geometry is that we begin to get a language, if you like, I'll put it in inverted commas, we have a way of trying to share with each other the great big questions of life. It's not that I'll take that back. It's not really the questions of life. It's just engaging with the mysteries of life. I think I've given up big questions because I don't think there really are any answers. But I do mull on mysteries. That's different.
Yes. Again, having worked with you for a very, very long time, I'm still living with questions that came to me in dreams in my 20s. And, it's like, after a while, it's like, okay, am I ever going to find an answer to this question? And it's, what you're talking about with regard to engaging with mysteries, getting in relationship with mysteries, all of that, you can't get an answer that you can hold in your hand and say, Eureka, I found it. And
no.
Sometimes, so it kind of have to be able to allow for that kind of process, which isn't really very easily accepted in our world these days. I mean,
no, it isn't.
Answers.
Yes,
no.
They want answers, and they want it in 6 weeks.
Yes.
To me, it's like, and I think you know this. They'll say, well, what do I do with this dream? And I'll say, well, it's like a pebble. Put it in your pocket, and every time you put your hand in your pocket, say, oh yes, there's that dream. And gradually, it's like forming a crystal. Things accrue around that dream, and horizons expand, and the original problem doesn't seem as it was when we first came in, or our original question doesn't seem the same as when we first came in.
That's right.
That's
so right.
Put a pebble in your pocket for your dream and just, oh yes, there's that pebble. Oh yeah, remember that dream? Interesting.
But you see, the way that you work, which is, that engagement with process, what you're excited about is the process of doing it. So it's like, okay, yes, you watch your tomato plant, you see it all, and then winter comes and it dies. And it's the same with life, So we learn all of this, we study all of this, we develop our insights, and then, engage in that process, and then we die. And so sometimes it's like, why am I doing this? So it's got to be for the engagement with the process, but it ends up being a mystery. It gets frustrating sometimes not being able to just watch it carry on, and that eventually it ends in death and that it's gone.
Well,
or it changes form.
Something has gone when we die. Something goes back into the earth when we die. I'm not sure I know what happens when we die. I think this is an important thing to think about, but we don't usually like talking about dying, do we, as a culture?
No.
And of course, these teachings actually have never died.
That's right.
archetypal teachings have never died. I will die. You will die. We will all die. And the whole dying process, I think, is very, very mysterious. I'm not in that place that I was when I was desperately ill, between here and there, and I do know that my psyche was different in those places. Carl Jung was somebody who said that we need to think about what happens when we die, and he has an important chapter on that in his biography, Memories, Dreams, Reflections. And I think that it seems to me the great mystery teachers of all ages and all religions have encouraged us to think about dying before we die.
Mm-hmm.
And being born into a new or a fresh understanding. I think that's all I know about those things at the moment. Things I'm mulling on.
So, when we have that original question and we do the mulling and we hold the pebble and new understandings come, and then we even change the way we ask the question, that is kind of like a death, dying while we're alive, and it is the process, and that is what becomes important.
Yes. I think that's very succinctly put, Danita.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is what it is. Well, I think that what we're going to end here today.
Yes.
And I really want to thank you, Dr. Rand, for sharing your wisdom with us, and I just think that you have such a unique perspective in the world that the world really does need to hear, and that your voice absolutely really needs to be heard in the world. I think that at some level we're really starving for the kinds of pearls that you offer us and the kind of nourishment that you offer us, simply because of who you are and how you take your studies and how you work them through in practice, and the kinds of focus that you have and what you think are important and how you work to see and just who you are. I'm just really grateful for your whole being in the world, and I'm very grateful that you've chosen to speak with us and share with us today.
Oh, that's
so
kind
thank
of
you.
It's my pleasure.
And
thank you for asking me.
You're very welcome, and I hope that you join us again and that this conversation continues.
Thank you so much, Danita. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you. And for all of you that have joined us today, I want to say that if you want to learn more about Dr. Rand and her work and are interested in studying with her, feel free to go to thementoringstore.ca, and you'll be able to connect with her through the mentoringstore.ca. Thank you very much for listening today, and enjoy.